For most of my life, I was a ghost who haunted his own body. I was present in every room, yet seen by no one. My defining feature was not my mind or my heart, but my agreeableness. I was a vessel for other people's needs, a mirror for their expectations, a quiet yes in a world of loud opinions. And I thought this was kindness. I thought this was virtue, until I realized it was a single, devastating mistake. An unconscious choice I made every single day that taught the world, with perfect clarity, to erase me. But then, I changed one thing. Not overnight, but with one deliberate decision, and the world around me did not just change, it experienced a seismic shift. And it all started when I learned to become solid. The turning point wasn't dramatic. It was quiet, humiliating. I was in a meeting, a project I had poured my soul into. I had the key insight, the solution. I waited for the perfect, polite moment to speak, a moment that never came. A colleague later voiced a shadow of my idea, clumsily and without depth, and the room erupted in applause for him. I sat there invisible. My brilliant idea died on my tongue, and in its place, a cold truth was born. The world doesn't reward the polite, it rewards the present. And I was absent from my own life. That night, I didn't sleep. I realized my kindness was just a costume for my fear. My agreeableness was an apology for my own existence. So I began an experiment. My first step was to learn the weights of my own voice. For years, my words were light, airy, seeking approval. I decided to give them gravity. The next day, when asked for my opinion, I didn't rush to agree. I paused. I let the silence hang in the air for a second too long. That silence was terrifying. It felt aggressive. But in that tiny space, something shifted. They waited for my words. For the first time, my silence became a canvas, not an empty space. My second step was to treat my time not as a renewable resource, but as my most sacred possession. I used to be a rapid responder. A text, a call, an email. I would drop everything, proving my availability, my eagerness to serve. I stopped. I began to finish my own thought before answering their call. I would read an email and give myself time to truly consider it before replying. I wasn't playing a game. I was simply honoring my own focus. And a strange thing happened. People became more concise, more respectful. They stopped treating my time like a public utility and started treating it like an appointment with someone important. Then came the hardest step. I had to unlearn a word that had become the foundation of my personality. Sorry. I was sorry for asking questions, sorry for having a need, sorry for taking up space. Each sorry was a small surrender, a confirmation of my own insignificance. I replaced it. Instead of sorry to bother you, I started saying, do you have a moment? Instead of sorry, I have a different idea, I just said, I see it differently. This wasn't about arrogance. It was about congruence. It was about aligning my language with a new emerging belief that I was not an inconvenience. The change in people's reactions was immediate. They stopped placating me and started engaging with me. But the final transformation, the one that cemented my presence in the world, was learning the power of my own absence. I used to think the only way to keep people was to hold on tighter, to be more helpful, more present, more indispensable. I learned the opposite is true. I was in a conversation with someone who began to subtly disrespect me, with backhanded compliments and dismissive tones. The old me would have tried harder, smiled wider, attempted to win them over. The new me did something else. I didn't argue. I didn't fight. I just left. I said, "It was good talking to you." And I walked away.
The silence I left behind was louder than any argument I could have made. This is the secret they don't tell you. Your presence only has value if your absence is a real possibility. When you are willing to walk away from a job, a relationship, a conversation that diminishes you, you are not creating conflict. You are defining your worth. I did not become a different person. I became the person I was supposed to be all along. The world did not change. My shape within it did. I had developed gravity. And when you have gravity, you no longer need to scream to be heard. You don't need to apologize for your own mass. The world simply begins to orbit around you. Not because you forced it, but because you finally gave it something solid to orbit around.